US airstrikes on Yemen's Ras Isa oil port have resulted in the deaths of at least 33 people, marking one of the deadliest American attacks in the region, according to media linked to the Houthi group. Citing the health office, Al Masira TV reported that the strikes carried out early Friday morning also left 80 people injured. The US military stated the strikes aim to disrupt the Houthis' fuel supply, and Washington has reiterated that it will continue targeting Houthi positions in Yemen until the group ceases its assaults on Red Sea shipping routes. The US Central Command said on X, and I quote, the goal of these strikes was to weaken the Houthis' economic power, which they continue to use to harm their own people. Ras Isa is home to an oil pipeline and port considered critical and irreplaceable infrastructure in Yemen by the United Nations Development Programme. Around 70% of Yemen's imports and 80% of its humanitarian aid pass through Ras Isa, Hodeidah, and Salif ports. The US began its intensified military campaign against the Houthis last month. Since November 2023, the Houthis have carried out over 100 attacks in the Red Sea, a vital global shipping corridor, in reaction to the Israel Gaza conflict, according to Geopolitical Monitor. The group's number have grown significantly since the war began, increasing about 220,000 in 2022 to 350,000 by the end of 2024, fueled in part by its stance against Israel. Additionally, on Thursday, the US State Department accused the Chinese company Chang Guang Satellite Technology of directly aiding Iran-backed Houthi attacks on American interests, calling the support unacceptable.
Moreover, we can confirm the reporting that Chang Guang Satellite Technology Company Limited is directly supporting Iran-backed Houthi terrorist attacks on U.S. interests. Their actions and Beijing's support of the company, even after our private engagements with them, is yet another example of China's empty claims to support peace. We urge our partners to judge the Chinese Communist Party and Chinese companies on their actions, not their empty words. Restoring freedom of navigation in the Red Sea is a priority to President Trump. Beijing should take this priority seriously when considering any future support of CGSTL. The United States will not tolerate anyone providing support to foreign terrorist organizations such as the Houthis.
What exactly is the United States waiting, given Russia rejected President Trump's proposal?
Is that there is a Chinese company providing satellite imagery to the Houthis. The Houthis. And we are aware of those reports. That has been, I think, reported originally perhaps by the Financial Times. But China consistently attempts, as you know, to frame itself as a global peacemaker. And however, it is clear that Beijing and China-based companies provide key economic and technical support to regimes like Russia, North Korea, and Iran and its proxies. The CCP continues to enable these regimes, whether it be through the provision of dual-use items Russia needs to sustain its war in Ukraine, North Korea's ballistic missile development, or Iran's support of terrorism across the Middle East. Just again, taking you back to my topper a bit on Chang Guang, it's a dynamic where it's clear, as we're learning, their engagement with war and the suffering of people globally. Of course, that remains unacceptable. It is Beijing's support, by the way, of that company, the satellite company, even after we've engaged in discussions with them about this. The fact that they continue to do this is unacceptable.